Awesome. Cool. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ali. I'm the co-founder of PlutusDeFi. Our mission is Plutus aims to be an ecosystem of solutions for DeFi solutions to make DeFi accessible for everyone. I want to sort of not get into like too many slides, because I definitely don't have more than 100 slides, I promise. But what we'll do is we'll sort of go through a kind of a demo. We are sort of live with our beta on mainnet today. So show a quick sneak peek of what does a live version really do, and then we can sort of start going through what we've really built over the last 6 months. Yeah. See if this thing works. Probably not. Okay. Cool. Just gonna expand it. Awesome. All right.
Trading is not for everyone.
All right.
Mine went this way.
How do you? Cool. All right. Awesome. Okay. So why Plutus? Why did we come up with amongst a lot of lending solutions that are already in the market? What made us think about Plutus? So there are three main reasons or problems rather we're trying to address with it. One is that we're trying to bring in an element of privacy to DeFi solutions. Secondly, we're trying to do a lot of aggregation where users or customers don't have to try and figure out what different lending protocols do. They don't have to go and understand the interface. They don't have to understand the inner workings. Rather, we present them the protocols that are available, the money market protocols that are available to them, and they can just select one, and it's one consistent user experience that they can go through. And third, and most importantly, was the element of, like I said, is the user experience itself. Using anything that's on blockchain, especially anything that is a decentralized app, has been quite a mission for people. What we're trying to do with this is we are trying to sort of demystify all of that so that people can really learn as they go along when they sort of lend their products, et cetera, et cetera. So for us, three things: privacy, aggregation, and UX are three key things that we are focusing on with Plutus. Just to kind of go through what Plutus does at a very, very high level, what we tend to do is we want to create a bunch of solutions. So what we've seen so far is our lend and earn solution. That is just one of the solutions that we're going to create. In addition to this, we're looking at borrowing, money markets. We're looking at stuff around payments, anything that goes through a decentralized protocol, right? We have our own aggregator layer. What we do with that is we look at exciting money market protocols and we aggregate it so that users don't have to learn how to sort of interact with either a DeFi, DX, or a compound in this particular instance. And they can just sort of go through the flow with Plutus and get onto financial products as such. On the base layer side of things, we settle everything on Ethereum right now, but as soon as Binance's EVM is alive and kicking, we would like to use that for a lot of the liquidity. And Libra, if ever that launches, is for the distribution network of people that we can get. So effectively, look at what we're doing with Plutus is kind of interoperability, but turned upside down, where through the dApp, people don't have to really sort of dedicate themselves to a certain blockchain. Instead, they have access to liquidity, a secure chain, and probably even distribution, and they don't have to worry about thinking about too many of those things, saying, hey, am I on this blockchain? What kind of dApps are available on this? So we're sort of trying to turn the table upside down, where they could sort of get an element of interoperability through how our architecture is built. On top of that, we are currently also investigating off-chain privacy and on-chain privacy. There's a lot of research work going on. We started initial conversations with Aztec, but we're also looking at how we can enable privacy for decentralized protocols. Now, what's happening is if you've looked at, for instance, Compound or Dharma, they all are integrated into a more centralized solution like Coinbase, for instance, right? With the way we've designed our smart contracts, you hold your keys. Right? It's not with another party like Coinbase where you're forced to get to log into them and sort of deposit your funds with them. You hold your keys, the money is lent, whilst the money is still in your control. So that's one of the, I think, standout features that we have with our lending.
Oh, can I just question one?
Sure.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Right.
There's only to see. Thank you.
Cheers. Like I said, with the lend and earn protocol, so this is, by the way, live right now. If you were to go to dev.PlutusDeFi.com, you could go through a lending process literally in 3 steps. What we try and address is unifying the entire lending experience. Removal of overhead in trying to find, which one is the best price. Should I go to this site? Should I go to that site? They can just come to think of, compare the market.com, but for DeFi products, right? We give you easy access to deposit and withdraw functions, and you can easily switch to different protocols, check your balances, and there is one single wallet address that controls all of this. And you hold the keys to those funds. We don't. So what I'll do is, these are some screenshots I have. I'll quickly walk you through how the interface is built, right? And then our head of technology will sort of walk you through some details of the architecture and the design itself, and we'll give a live demo of the solution, right? So what we have here is, if you go to our dev link, it sort of gives you like a little simulator where you can play around with this, and these are live rates, and it tells you, based on whichever block Ethereum is on, what kind of interest rates you get, and the weekly, monthly, and the yearly earnings. You can select on a particular protocol. So currently we offer Compound and DeFi DX. We have plans to add more protocols. Currently we only deal with DAI, but we're looking at adding more currencies as well. So you have a choice of multiple protocols, and you have a choice of multiple currencies all in one place, right? Going to the next one, so when you sort of go to the next screen, you select a protocol, you have a choice of either selecting MetaMask or Fortmatic, where you can either log in through a phone number or an email, and sort of this sort of generates a smart contract that would be specific to you, a smart contract wallet. Once you do that, you have the ability to copy this address. If you've chosen MetaMask, for instance, you can go ahead and do a transfer, and this will give you a live update of what happens with your funds, right? We constantly check the mempool, and we bring the latest status back so that you're constantly updated with what's happening with your funds. And then this is the dashboard, where once you've done with your deposit, you'll see in the live demo there's an activity section where it keeps you constantly updated as to what your transaction is and any history of your previous transactions. And over here, you can either switch to Compound. It will basically, on the same address, it will show your total balance. You can choose to deposit or withdraw depending on which protocol you're in. And if you wanted to sort of deposit more money, you could play around, see how much more money would you like to put in, and click on deposit and go through the same process again. So that's basically about 3 steps and making sure that you're able to lend your solution across multiple currencies, across multiple protocols, but in the future in multiple currencies as well. Just to sort of a quick call out, we have Ani there, who's the founder. Show of hands. We have Paresh, who leads the technology side of things. And we have a product advisor who currently works with the Cardano Foundation. In addition to this, we have a few other team members who worked incredibly hard over the last 6 months to get us to this particular place. The last slide before I go, this is our current roadmap for Q1 2020. So we are looking to integrate USDC. We are getting our smart contracts audited as we speak right now. We're looking at Fulcrum. That will be the 3rd protocol we'll do. We are looking at developing an SDK. The idea is to go directly into exchanges, go directly into OTC desks, so that all they have to do is integrate our solution, and suddenly all of the customers have access to lending platforms, these lending protocols.
With the API?
Yes, that is right. We are looking to integrate with oracles as well, and currently we are also researching on trying to see if we can come up with a solution where the interest is paid on a specific card where you can actually go and spend. But this is currently at the research phase right now. That's it from me. Probably invite Paresh, probably sort of explain a little more of the tech. Thank you.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, I will try not to bore you guys because none of the earlier presentation had this kind of technical things. I will be quick and simple. So this is actually the whole Plutus architecture. We have main 3 components. The Plutus web, which is the front end. I will show you that each user interacts with. The Plutus server, which is the back end, and our Plutus smart contracts that communicates with the DeFi, DXO, and Compound and other protocols that we will be supporting in future. So starting with the website, we have been using the top-notch technology like Monstack. If you, if you know any details, I will be happy to answer you. But in short, it's using the Monstack Real, React, MongoDB, Express kind of things with the GraphQL, with the real-time subscription thing. And we support the Fortmatic and MetaMask integration. And that basically communicates with our backend using this GraphQL server, Apollo server. So the backend is kind of proxy, which is, very biggest plus point for us. What does that mean? The proxy is, even though, let's say the whole backend is not there, right? We are able to create the whole backend in like few seconds from the blockchain, basically. So we're using the MongoDB and ethers.js rather than using the web3.js. And we have this our component Plutus.js. That's what Ali was talking about. So through that, what developers can do is like just create the Plutus instance and then like just create the Plutus account, wallet, and start depositing and withdrawing from any protocols they want to. So it's going to be like literally 3 lines of code in order to for them to create wallet and start depositing and withdrawing funds. And then comes to the Plutus contract, which is the architecture of this whole system. And the Plutus contract is, our main goal was to be totally decentralized, right? I mean, there is none of these things as centralized. We don't hold any of your information, and it's already available on the mainnet, and anyone can use it. So we have total 9 contracts. Is structured such a way it is so scalable and flexible to handle the future improvements. Like for example, at the moment we are supporting only 2, right? Like 2 protocols and 1 DAI currency. We are able to extend this, without compromising any versioning system that we already support, basically. So 9 contract, I will just quickly walk through. The module registry is basically the handles each module, which is related to Plutus, and also help us to upgrade the contracts in the future version and still supporting the existing version of the contracts. Deployer is the main guy who actually deploys. So we use the counterfactual instantiation. One of the coolest thing about the Ethereum blockchain. So what it does is basically when you connect your wallet to the Plutus, we create the unique address which is belong to you, and only you owns that and control it, right? That address does not exist on the blockchain until you act on it, basically, like transfer funds, for example, or to create the wallet, right? That's what it is called the counterfactual instantiation, handled by the deployer. Relayer module basically handles the signing between you and the MetaMask on the backend. Operations module, is basically the main module, handles the operations like withdraw, fee module, and etc. Just a calling between the base wallets. And these are the contracts which is related to the protocols that we support. At the moment, we're supporting DYDX and the Compound. So DYDX registry is basically maintains all sort of valid markets that DYDX support, right? And it's a registry of all markets and the tokens related to it, like DAI, for example, we're supporting now. And DAI has a specific market ID in the DYDX solo contract. So those sort of things we handle there. And same for the Compound registry. So anything that is very unique to the protocols, maintained there as a registry. And DYDX invest module is basically the main module that actually communicate with the live protocols contracts to actually invest funds from your Plutus wallet to the live wallet. And you can withdraw back only through these guys, actually, and the base wallet. So the base wallet is something that gets deployed on this counterfactual address whenever user sends the funds and they create Plutus wallet. So, and that base wallet, basically the code that communicates with each of this module, and that remains the same code for all the wallets that get deployed on the Plutus ecosystem. So that's the overall architecture. So let me quickly demo all these things using the live version. So awesome.
We are going to go into some what do you call it, pen test as well. Pen test as well as security audits, both of them, yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is my account at the moment, and we are on the dev at the moment. You can say dev.plutusdefi.com. It is accessible for everyone, actually, but we are releasing beta soon, I think, right? So what I will do, let me start from the scratch. I will just log out, okay? And even like you can get to this page from the website when you select which protocol you want to invest in, right? And let's see, and I connect to my MetaMask. I connected. If I want to deposit something, right? So what you see here, this address belongs to my wallet only, and which is what the counterfactual address that's get created first time when you send the funds for the very first time. So let me show you that quickly. Okay, so if you see, this is my history of transaction. So first time when I send the fund, right, point die, that time it created the wallet for me, right, and that wallet only can be controlled by the wallet address that I am currently logged in, and it becomes the owner of that address, the counterfactual address, and no one else can control that address. Okay, and yeah, so this is all my history of the transactions, and now let me deposit log. So I copy. And the other beautiful thing about this counterfactual is once you have your wallet address, you can send the funds to this wallet anywhere. I mean, you can send it from any exchange or any other addresses. It's not like, you have to send it from the MetaMask, because that belongs to your wallet and you own that. You control full wallets. Let me send some funds. Just to save time, I will do the fastest option possible. So we just make sure that we don't wait too much. It will not consume that much gas. Right, so it's so in architecture we had that Ethereum listener. Basically, that's what kept listening about on top of our contracts. And whenever there is a funds received, actually that kicks off automatically, picks it up, and it says that, yeah, funds received. So you can see that it is on the mempool and it's received the fund, right? And what you need to do now, this funds is received in your Plutus wallet, which is the counterfactual address, right? So now you need to decide whether you want to move these funds to the protocol further. Then you need to sign, right? So you basically sign it. You sign it, so this is a step which makes this whole system decentralized, basically, right? We do not decide on your funds what we need to do. You decide, like, whenever you want to send that funds to the DYDX or compound, whichever you have selected. Right, let me just do the first. What happened? Right, so basically now it's depositing to the DAI, actually. So once it is deposited onto DAI, you start receiving the interest, basically. And we can see, like, this is your total balance, basically. It's combined balance for all the protocols across the protocol, compound, DYDX, etc. And this one here you can see is the DYDX, and in the DYDX I have invested so far 0.5 DAI and have earned like this much interest, and the total balance is that. Right, so it will, it takes like every 1 minute we run the cron job. So even though sometimes it succeeds here, it takes a little while to appear here and refresh the board automatically. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, it's done. Okay, so the deposit is success. So now it is, now my total balance in the DYDX is 1.5 DAI, and I start getting the interest. Okay, so this is just for testing. If you add more, you get more interest based on what we have here, 4.707%. Right, so that is deposit. And if you want to withdraw again, you can see, right, the total balance you can withdraw 1.5, and it is to the 3 decimal points. I mean, yeah, we can support you can have all the funds you want. You need to copy paste them. Right, so I'm withdrawing my funds, so I'll still just make it quick. Right, so you see, like, it is communicating with your MetaMask. If you use the Fortmatic, for example, then it will communicate with the Fortmatic. So Plutus system does not handle anything, basically. No information or user information handle. Everything is done like totally decentralized, and you decide what you want to do with your Plutus wallet, basically. So for example, if I give you the quick example of Dharma, right, they are one of the very famous DeFi. So the way they also create the Dharma wallet address, but it's not counterfactual. they have the partial key with them. So if they want, they can recover your funds. That's what they say, right? So basically, they have the control over your fund. But with this one, Plutus has no control or any dependency, on your funds. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So I think that's it. So once the withdraw transaction is succeed, yeah, it's gone. So it's done, and I can see that detail on the it's updated, and I can see the detail on things. And this is also a beautiful thing. So that is the operation module that does like a multiple transaction grouped into the one transaction. So only this point we take like 0.5% fees, only during withdraw. Otherwise, the platform is free to use. That's it, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When you present a user, you have two protocols right now. You present a user the best rate. Is that something that the user has to opt into to switch from, say, DYDX to Compound, or is that something that the user is somehow automatically switched to always give them the best rate?
Yeah, I'll just answer that. So right now, the user has a choice to select what they want.
Yes.
We are also planning to introduce more features where when you're looking at the protocol, we can give some risk assessment so that the user is informed. We have features down the line where we can do some automatic balancing based on some based on 20-day average or whatever it is. But that's something that's not available right now. But it's
So here, you can see, like if I switch to Compound, I will see all my data related to Compound. Right? So yeah, that's much balance I have in Compound.
Just
but
to add on to that question, one of the reasons why we wanted people and users to keep the decision in their control is because a lot of other sort of wrappers automatically choose protocols for you, right? But in that process, it removes a lot of the educational risk around DYDX, Compound, and Fulcrum in terms of multiple financial risks like utilization or lack of liquidity. So while we can do that, we decided to offer maybe something a bit more educational based. But yeah, auto rebalancing is something that most other companies kind of went for, just make it simple.
It's a problem of mine to have auto rebalancing because you can't do it for all of your users at once, or else you sway the rates too much if you're successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 funds in the space that have 100 million each in DeFi. There's only about 850 million locked in. I mean, if someone puts about 5 million in USDC on the DYDX tomorrow, then it checks very hard. So there are some liquidity issues on the buy side.
Okay.
Do you have the contracts up on
No, the contracts will not be open for the time being. We'll be doing audits on it, and the audit report will be public. But the reason the contracts are not there is because there's a lot of the code that we want to keep its IP. So we're not going to do that right now till we get critical mass. A lot of the code we've written is IP, is our own IP. We don't want to sort of release it till we get critical mass.
We do plan on making it public,
Yeah.
but we're currently one of the first projects to partner with Nexus Mutual, so we'll have insurance integrated in a few weeks, as well as privacy with Aztec. So in order to keep kind of a bit of an edge on what we're doing, we'll kind of go off the order reports from maybe OpenZeppelin, Certic, or Trader of Bits. We have them, we're in mid-stages of one of them, we're still doing audits, we're still kind of going out what other contracts we need. Like at some point it will be public, just not immediately. We're kind of hoping with the kind of goodwill and reputation of some of the bigger audit companies out there, we don't necessarily need to make it public off the bat. Obviously, the DeFi community is open source. People want to read the code. It's the balance between having a business and having everything open source.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decision we've taken as a project, not lightly,
From my perspective, I find that as compared to that,
Yeah.
there's a lot less trust needed facing that. And if I chuck something through Tornado.cash, that gets me the privacy, and it's just kind of hard to give up that trustlessness and then pay a fee on top of it.
I understand. I think we've had lots of discussions, I think where the market is right now with also where we are in terms of some of the tech we're developing around it, it's a bit early for us to just like open everything up. That's the reason we're focusing on making sure that we have the right audits in place so people have that level of security, and it's just not one audit, we're looking at least 2. I think in due course we'll open them up, but right now there is just a few things that set us apart. We don't want to lose out on that. Yeah.
I mean, there are something very unique in the way we are doing this whole flow. So even like if we reveal it, right? I think we can do it like 90% of the code. We can reveal like that 10%. We will still keep until these guys decide and how. Yeah.
No, yeah, big fan. I think you can't really have DeFi without privacy. But what are the risks that DYDX, Bulk and Compound start requiring KYC? And then if they do, would you still be able to offer this service without taking your customers through that route?
It's kind of an interesting question. I think there are different routes we're looking into right now. So we will end up being in a particular jurisdiction which will allow us that, but it might lead us to bifurcating maybe the brand or whatever it is. So we're looking at those options right now. What we don't want to do as a project is to stifle innovation. We don't want to do that, right? We're not an SF-backed company where money is thrown at us and we just go and build 20,000 things. We're working with extremely limited resources. We want to keep innovation as the topmost priority and what we want to build. So I think that's basically my thought on it right now. Yeah.
If DYDX Compound was forced to do KYC because of regulatory issues with them out in the US, then it ties into this whole kind of political narrative we have that we want to keep crypto decentralized because the way regulation is shaping up in Europe, by the MOD, in the US, is that you won't be able to kind of have DeFi protocols or companies anymore because of the regulatory pressure. So if they implement KYC across their protocol, it won't be DeFi anymore. So you have a polarization in the space where protocols will emerge, which kind of keep true to those core decentralized tenants.
So would you potentially fill the void if they needed to?
In terms of the Plutus, the project itself, this is completely decentralized. We're a wrapper or a tech solution, so we have no need to KYC people. You're sending your own funds to a decentralized peer-to-peer money market. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we're not looking at centralized solutions because we know that the majority of finance is still in the traditional world. We're looking at how do you get, for example, if you have a bank account here in GBP, what kind of flows can we put in place where you can deposit from your bank to, say, a clearing bank that we use, turn that into a regulated GBP stablecoin where you now are getting paid interest on your fiat through a kind of proxy wrapper coin, a pound coin, right? So we're not closed-minded to centralized solutions, but in terms of what we're building here, this is strictly DeFi, strictly crypto. So it doesn't mean to say that we don't come out with a CeFi version with a crypto card or integrations to Wirex or Monolith or whoever else. So we're an aggregator.
Yeah. One more question to wrap it up. Yeah.
And I think that what we bring to the table is innovation, and obviously all these USPs around privacy, insurance, cards, whatever.
Just one more thing, even to add to your point, with compound finance, you can actually interact with the smart contracts directly. So perhaps even if the front end did have KYC.
Oh yeah, they could just buy the CDI or Uniswap or somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't want them to implement KYC. It's more worry. I can't really have decentralized finance.
And we're trying to stay true to that principle, but the reality is that we also have to keep a lookout on making sure that we are not on the complete other side. Yeah. Sure, yeah, happy to close. Just one last mention that I'd like to thank some of the VCs who've supported us. We are a really small project. We have Obsidian Capital, SMC Capital, and NGC Neo Global Fund from Singapore. They've sort of helped fund our seed round, and they've got us this far. So really a call out to them for getting us this far. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what we get.